Can you tell me, brother, why is this mosque closed? It's been closed for nearly 4 weeks now. Why is it closed?
I'll have to give you a little bit of brief on that so that you understand the whole scenario. The committee is here for I'm here as a chairman for this masjid for the last 5 years. And on 2nd of February 2019, last year, the masjid dismissed the imam, long-standing imam, who was here for many, many years. And since then, the problem has started in the mosque. Of course, there are many supporters of Imam Abdul Sattar, and they were not happy with that. But we, having a problem with, as an employment law, we cannot start disclosing what he's done and what are the issues with the local public, which is, he has a legal representative, and the case is ongoing. But the problem was that...
So you can't tell us why he was sacked?
Not in detail, no, because this case is still ongoing. It's gone into tribunal, and the process is going on.
Okay.
So we cannot go into that detail. All I can say was there was a gross misconduct, and there was issues with the contracts and his employment, what his job role is. So I can only say that much. So the case is going on, and a lot of people, they were not happy with that. And since then, the problem started with, there was a violence in the mosque. There was assault, harassments, abuses on 2nd of February. After that, we had the police, and we had an issues and the cases and all of that stuff. And then we carried on, and now we come to that state that the mosque has been running in a state where no other mosque is like this, right? It was come to that state that people were, encouraging other people to actually make an assault and making an open announcement saying, oh, make sure that the people who don't support them are not welcomed in this mosque. And this is not the kind of environment we want in the mosque. One thing is to pray in the mosque, alhamdulillah, of course, the mosque is there to pray. But one is to have a etiquette of the mosque as well, right? There's a rights of the mosque, house of Allah. When we say, there's a lot of etiquettes. If someone come to my house, if there's no guest to my house, if no one comes to my house, I wouldn't feel that upset. But if someone come to my house and abuses the facilities of my house and my hospitality, then how would you feel? The same way you come to the house of Allah and you don't have the respect of the house of Allah. There's a shouting, screaming, unnecessary announcements, nonsense announcements, which has got nothing to do with anyone who is regularly coming to pray. And people are getting disturbed. People are getting harassed and abused. So we had to take a step and say, okay, now we have to close this mosque till this matter is resolved. Let's come down, sit together. Let's come on a mutual agreement, and then we open the mosque.
How long do you think the mosque could potentially be shut for?
The idea is we can open the mosque tomorrow. You see, when we closed the mosque, there was no date as such that we will have to close for that long. The idea was we close, next day people will come forward because they want to pray. We will call them for a mutual meeting. Let's sit down, have a meeting, right? Let's come to a conclusion that this is how you want your mosque to run. Even the people who do not agree, they have an issue. Is that how you want your mosque to run? So let's sit down, let's talk, because there's always a solution for a problem. There is no such problem on the face of this earth where you cannot get the solution from the Quran, from the Sunnah, from the Sirat of the Nabi, from the Sahaba's life. We can get the solution.
Have you guys tried negotiation?
We tried. We tried through the solicitor, we tried to the arbitration, we tried to the councillors, we tried personally one-to-one sitting down many times in this office, in the councillor's office, talking to people as well. And now still we are doing the same. We are still talking to many people and telling them, come forward, let's sit down, let's come to a mutual agreement. If you don't agree, get the ulama, get the scholars, let's get the advice from them.
The immediate reason for the closure of the mosque, I believe, was what you call a burglary, which took place a few weeks ago, an invasion and a burglary. Tell me about that.
There was one attempted burglary on 1st of January, and there was, 20th or 21st, there was another burglary which was successful burglary. And unfortunately, they stole the DVR. Yes, you heard it right. They stole the DVR from the mosque, and they damaged a lot of cameras, and other files were missing as well from the office. But that's not the main thing. The main part is there was 50, 60 people called from outside and made a drama here and the whole situation here. They stopped everything. and they were together in that. And mainly, they are the people who call themselves a do not donate group. They were all involved in that together. So after that was happened, we had to put a foot down that this is not going anywhere. Because just to give you a brief, that just to allow the mosque to run peacefully for one whole year, since last March, Ramadan, just before Ramadan, till now, right, one whole year, the committee literally gave it in. What I mean by gave it in was they said, we will appoint imam. We said, okay, you appoint imam, we will monitor them, no problem. We will appoint the speakers. We will appoint the muazzin. We will not allow you to collect donation. We will stop donation ourselves, plus we will stop people who are giving donation as well. And we have clear evidence of all of that. This was happening. We allowed it. We said, okay, if that's what you want, fine, but let people pray in peace. Do not make, issues and havoc and chaos in the mosque. If that's what you want to do, and that makes you happy, and you have taken the, guidance from the ulama, do you think that's the right way? Go for it. Let's see. 1 year, we allowed that, right? And still, after giving them all of that, they found out that this is not getting anywhere because mosque is still running now. Alhamdulillah, people are peacefully coming. So they break into the office. They break into the masjid. They hijacked the masjid. Whole night they stayed into the masjid, about 40, 50 people. And at the end, 5 o'clock in the morning, I was here and we had to call the police. 12 police cars, 25 police came to escort them out. So this is not how the model of the masjid should be. So people are looking at one side saying, oh, the masjid is closed. But no one is asking why it is closed.
So, brother, I must put some of the accusations that I've heard from the other side to you, and I'll ask you to respond to them. So the first thing they're saying is that basically the committee is power hungry. It is holding on to power at all costs when it isn't fit to run the mosque. They're trying to steer the mosque towards a particular sect. The Tablighi Jamaat was mentioned, whereas Wembley is a very diverse community with lots of different Sunni sects, I guess. And what they want is a inclusive mosque, whereas you want a very kind of, narrow, I guess you would say even sectarian mindset from what they were saying. How do you respond to that?
Brother, every allegations should be supported by the evidence, right? It is easy for me to say anything about you, but if there's no evidence on that, you cannot prove that. You see, if someone says that, oh, you want to take a mosque to one sect, that means you are not allowing other people to hold an event here. You're not allowing other people to do their programs. That's when you can say that, look, you're not allowing other people, you're only allowing your people to do something. Then I can accept that. Okay, fine, fair enough. But that's not the case.
Do you have an objection to, let's say, for example, a Salafi speaker coming or a Deobandi speaker coming?
We have so many times. People, in fact, we invited one Somalian speaker just for our Somalian community. I'm not sure which background was that, but we invited them. Arab speaker, no problem. We don't have a problem with that. All we say, any speaker, no problem. As far as he is regulated, he is invited, right? He's authorized. So at the end of the day, there is a paperwork to support ourselves and the speaker, right? And the people who are listening to it. Because if you say that we will invite anyone we want, so who is going to regulate that? Who is going to authorize that? Who is going to do the risk assessment on that? It is the trustee's responsibility. So if you want to propose someone, by all means, there's a form. Come and propose and we will do it. Now, you see, every day morning after Fajr, we have two circles in the masjid. One circle is for the Tablighi Jamaat. One circle is Arab brothers doing the Taaleem or, circle in Arabic. And I believe that they might be from a Salafi background. We don't have a problem. It's going on for years. We never even tried to stop it. We never even say, no, you can't do this. No way, no problem. They invited a brother to do a Sirat of Nabi every Wednesday. We don't stop them. I believe that maybe he's from different background than the Tablighi Jamaat. No problem, as far as the people are benefiting.
Also, there's the accusation that you're basically wasting mosque funds, and that you're spending a lot of money on security, a lot of money on pursuing so-called miscreants legally. Also, your accounts were recently published, and there appears to be, correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears to me at first sight that around £20,000 of sadaqah money, which is meant specifically for sadaqah, was transferred for other use. That seems to have caused some consternation. Tell me about that.
Okay, so there's three things you said there. Number one was misuse of funds, right? Okay, so the accounts which was published, that accounts was published by ourselves, by the trustees, right? So if we wanted to misuse some funds and not to show people, there was many ways of doing that. The money which is collected for the sadaqah, for the zakat, for the masjid funds, it is the trustees who divide that and put into the right accounts. Yeah. If we wanted to misuse that, we could have done it from before. We would have not put into the right accounts, but we didn't do that. We put into the right accounts. Then we published that as well to show to the people that this much money is being used here. And why it's been used, because we had a fatwa on that as well. You see, people who are making accusation, they need to go and speak to the ulama and find out about the reality and the facts. Sadaqah money can be used for the building of the mosque, plus the maintenance of the mosque. Zakat money, which is obligatory money, cannot be used for anything else but for the poor and needy. We have the clear accounts of exactly how much zakat and how much sadaqah we collect. Number one. So there is no misuse of funds. If there was a misuse of funds, the whole account is going to charity commission, right? It's been issued to all the general members in AGM. They look at the accounts, they approve it. It goes to charity commission. If there is even £100 worth of check which is not registered or something like this, they pick up straight away. They hold on a second, where's this money going? What is happening to this? So it is and it is clearly saying restricted funds, unrestricted funds. So the point I'm saying here is, number one has to be taken in advice from the ulama. Ulama has given the fatwa. It is very clear and very obvious and black and white that sadaqah money only can be used for the building. Now, we had last year more than £50,000 of just maintenance work in this masjid, because the Grade 2 listed building, alhamdulillah, it's a great mosque, it's a great building, it needs a maintenance as well. Now, the funds were low and we had to use that. We took a fatwa from the ulama that, look, we want to use this for the maintenance of the masjid. It's more than 50,000. What can we do? They said you can use this as a temporary means, because you have to run the masjid, and when your means are okay, try and put it back. Though the fatwa is saying you can use it, but put it back. And we have written in the accounts as well that we are going to put it back as soon as possible. And we have done, a lot of money has gone back, which will come into the next year accounts as well. A lot of money has also gone back, and we are waiting for more funds, and we'll put it back. So this is the reality of the sadaqah funds. There was one thing. Number two, and the third thing you said about the security.
Yes. The legal, pursuing people legally. Correct. And the security.
So there's two things there. One is security. Now, why did we need the security? Why? Do you think that we have, when people are saying do not donate, and when people are not donating, why do we want to waste the money? Right? There was issues. There was cases where the people were harassed and assaulted. And when we took them to the court, the High Court judge, which I have the details here, which I'm going to give it to you as a reference for your, assurance. The High Court judge, I'm just going to repeat one word what he said. He looked at the video and he said, I have a compelling evidence. Looking at this evidence, I'm not going to leave you without taking an undertaking. And he asked everyone, it was only 1 hour hearing. He said, you have to take undertaking, otherwise I'm not going to leave you. So the evidence was very compelling. There was a problem there. And when we came back, right, as soon as we came back, people were assaulting, and our general secretary and everyone was assaulted. Volunteers were assaulted. We had to have security here to protect them.
Are you running short of funds? Because there's been this do not donate campaign for about a year now. I guess their tactic is to try to starve you of funds so that you can no longer run the mosque efficiently. Is that happening?
In this mosque, we have about £200,000 of yearly expenses without extra unforeseen circumstances like building work, maintenance, all of that. Just the minimum. We need £200,000 to be able to run this masjid. Salaries, bills, insurances, other stuff. Now, for last 1 year, they've been saying that do not donate and all of this. But obviously, someone is paying for the bills. So who is paying for that? There are hundreds of people, alhamdulillah, who are genuine, who understands it's a masjid, it's the house of Allah, and they are donating.
So the community is still donating. You're not getting the funds from other benefactors elsewhere. It's mainly still from the congregation.
From the congregation, 100%. right? We don't have any Qarz Hasana, alhamdulillah. In fact, we have given Qarz Hasana, which we are waiting to come back, but we don't have any Qarz Hasana, and we don't have any intention to ask for Qarz Hasana from anyone.
Something else that the Do Not Donate group told me is that they felt that the committee itself was illegitimate because your legitimacy comes from the previous elections, and they are calling into question those very elections. They say it was basically rigged. What do you say to that?
It is clear to the Commission that the charity is suffering from an internal dispute between the charity's trustees and some of its members. The Commission has received large volumes of correspondence from members of the charity criticizing the decision-making of the charity's trustees. The Commission has also received an amount of correspondence from members of the charity that are in support of the trustees. The Commission's view is that decision made by or action taken by the trustees within the law and the provisions of the charity's governing document for the trustees to take and justify, and they have very wide freedom to do so. So there we go about the election. Concerns have been raised about the charity's last trustee election, which the Commission understands took place on 18th of March 2018. The Commission notes that an independent election supervisor oversaw the election, and the Commission has received and reviewed their report on the election process. Notwithstanding that the election was not called when it ought to have been, the Commission has seen nothing that gives it particular cause for concern that a proper process was not carried out. So now if you don't believe this and you deny this as well, that even Charity Commission is favouring you, even the police is favouring you, even the solicitors are favouring you, even the High Court judge is favouring you, even the councillors are favouring you, so then brother, why aren't you favouring us as well? We are all brothers, you come on our side as well. Let's work together. When all these authorities are favouring us who are independent, why are you against us?
The other side claimed that it's effectively the committee versus the community. It's a handful of people, some of them might be in this room, versus the whole community.
I already answered that. If it was a whole community, we would be starved and the masjid couldn't be run. How would we pay the bills? The people are paying the bills. You see, not everyone is going to come up and shout and scream to say we support, because they are decent people. They come to pray, they want to pray, they do their spiritual enlightenment, and they want to go back. The way people put their support forward is by doing the donation. They're making out that this committee is not right and this and that, but people are still donating. Why? They know that this committee is here. They know this committee is running the whole masjid and paying for the bills, and they're still donating that, and they're showing their support that yes, we are with you.
So you're not close to the end. You can continue. You have the financial resources to continue.
We don't have any problem. Alhamdulillah, we have still the reserve funds. Okay, it's not as much we all normally used to keep. It's less than what we had, but we still have reserve funds, and we don't have a problem with that. Running of the masjid is not a problem.
Wembley's a very diverse area. It's still mainly a non-Muslim area, and I guess that this is really painting a bad picture of Islam, isn't it, to the wider community?
Absolutely agree.
What is the way forward, brother? Because it seems to me, as an outsider, that there are two sides here, neither of which are budging, but neither of which perhaps can win this battle. So what is the way forward? Surely it's time to put an end to all this.
It's very simple. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the option, if there is any dispute, if there is any problem, till the day of Qiyamah, go back to Allah and His Rasul. Go back to Quran and Sunnah. And the easiest way is to find out from the Sirat of the Sahaba that when they had any problem like that, how did they sort it out? So the same way we can sort it out. We are happy for any dialogue. We are happy to sit down. Now what is the way forward? Like any other masjid in the world, right? Any other. There is not even one example you can give or anybody can give where the public or the people come up and say, we will give it to us and we will appoint our imam, whoever we want, we will appoint a muezzin, we will appoint. It doesn't work like this. There is a trustees, they are responsible, they are answerable, and they are liable as well. So they have the rights to choose the imam in a correct way. So what we are saying is, let's sit down, choose one imam, choose one muezzin, select few speakers who are authorized, who has been risk assessed, who has been given the paperwork is being done as per the constitution, as per Charity Commission guidelines, and just move forward.
Would you be willing to hold fresh elections with perhaps an independent body overseeing those elections?
100%. 100%. There is not even 1% doubt of that the next election will be done with the independent body.
When is the next election?
In March 2021.
Could that be brought forward?
Yes, a couple of months. Why not? Why not? Yes. But you see, even if you want to hold an election straight away, it's a process. You see, there's a whole constitutional process allowing people to become more members and giving them time, and they have to be 3 months. There's all this constitutional process. Even if you just follow constitutional process, start from now, it will take at least 6 to 8 months. It will take us to next election. So election has to happen. There's no way. And we are not, today we are here, tomorrow someone else will come over. No problem. All we are saying, if anyone wants to come over and take the charge and who have an interest in this running the masjid, they're welcome. Our constitution, alhamdulillah, is so straightforward. Anyone can become a member. No background is checked. As far as you believe in Allah and you follow the constitutional things, and you become a member. Whoever is a member, he can become a candidate. If you have 99%, if you have 100%, if you have majority, you vote your candidates, let them take over.
I'm also interested to ask you about the personal toll that this has perhaps taken on you and the trustees. This cannot be a nice situation where people are barracking you all the time, perhaps insulting you, and you're in constant conflict with members of your local community.
It is very, very hard for the trustees because now it is, I don't know whether I should say this, but one of the trustees said his wife wants to divorce him because of all this. Some people have gone to his house. There's letters being sent out to the trustee's house saying that we will protest on your street, and where your wife and family doing shopping at Asda, Tesco's, we will protest there for you, and we will distribute your pictures, which they have done. Which Islam teaches this, right? Some of the trustees have gone with their family and they've been sworn at with the mothers and fathers and wife and sister's name, and the wife and children are with them. Which Islam teaches this? And what is happening is that when they do this, there's a reaction for every action. When you do this, it is making people more of in that mindset that yes, no, we will go by the rules now. This is the rules, this is the law, this is the regulation, and the law is giving us the authority. We will go and we will exercise those authorities now. Because this is not how it works. You cannot start abusing someone with his family when on the road. It has happened with me. It has happened with other trustees. And people who have done that, they know very well. It's not 1, 2. People have done the recording of me, of the people, and circular social media. Why? Is that going to resolve anything? I said to the brothers, I said, look, you want this management committee to go out? No problem. The way they have come in, take them out. Become a member, become a candidate, vote for your candidates, and take over. And there's no way anyone can stop you. Then you do whatever you like. No problem. And you are liable then. At this stage where the trustees are running it, you have to allow the trustees to run the masjid the way it is. And it is not unreasonable to say that let this masjid run the way the whole world, how they're running the masjid. How is that unreasonable? Why can't you agree that? Why? If it is according to the Quran and Sunnah, in the Prophet's time there was one Imam and he used to be the Imam. There was no, the public used to come and say, oh, I don't like this, I'm going to get my own Imam. It has never worked. So where are we getting this from? If we can't establish the deen within the 4 walls of our masjid, how can we expect deen to come into our day-to-day life? And if it's not into our day-to-day life, how are we going to present the deen to the non-Muslims and the whole rest of the world?